Shalom, this is GMS Silent Sit Downs coming back with a lesson. First off and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and the highest honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect out there spreading this word. Kinda want to come with the update, concerning this video that you see right in front of you that I did on the book of Enoch, cutting it up and and showing you the contradictions towards the Bible that are in it. When I went in it, I touched on the point that the book of Enoch says that Enoch and Noah, that Enoch saw Noah, and he basically speaks on him like they was there in the same time. But if you go into it, Enoch was gone already. Enoch was taken up by the Most High already. So how can he write about the appearance of his grandson? So I went into that, but during the verses in the book of Enoch, it speaks on that Noah was a so-called white man. It speaks on that Noah was an albino looking man, which is complete garbage, complete nonsense, and I didn't really go into it. So eventually I had some people that basically came to me and said, like, why can't he be a so-called white man then? Because if he is an albino and he has a dark-skinned woman, the children can become dark-skinned, right? So I was like, yeah, okay, that's true. That's true. Even if his wife was also an albino, they can still get dark-skinned children. So that's true, indeed. So, but in this video, I went over it, quickly, and I more touched on the point that Lamech, the father of Noah, in the book of Enoch, says that it's not his seed, and that it's probably from the angels, and as you see the thumbnail of this video, you see two female angels. So this is what the book of Enoch describes to be angels. So Enoch said he doesn't look like us, he looks more like the angels. So I think this is the offspring of the angels and not of me. So I touched more on that point and some other things, and I basically skipped over cutting up and breaking down why Noah is not a so-called white man. So this is gonna be an update on the book of Enoch, cutting that Noah is not a so-called white man. So first we're gonna read the account in the book of Enoch where it says Noah is a so-called white man. This is the book of Enoch, chapter 106, verse 1. And after some days my son Methuselah took a wife for his son Lamech, and she became pregnant by him and bore a son. And his body was white as snow, and red as the blooming of a rose, and the hair of his head and his long locks were white as wool, and his eyes beautiful. And when he opened his eyes, he lighted up the whole house like the sun, and the whole house was very bright. So, what are they describing here? Let me grab a picture. African albino. I want one with a lot of woolly hair. This is basically what they're describing. Let me see. I want one with a lot of woolly hair. Yeah, that's a female. Basically this, right? Because it says and his body was white as snow, which the body of these albinos are white as snow, and red as the blooming of a rose, and the hair of his head and his long locks were white as wool, and his eyes beautiful. Because what the world deems to be beautiful nowadays are basically malfunctions, which Being an albino is a malfunction, man. There's a malfunction of the body, and it's a how you say that? It was evolved out of sin. So through sin, the Most High will curse you with looking like a mutant, man, looking like an albino. See? So white woolly hair, and like you see over here, the eyes changed because, you know, it's a malfunction. But nowadays this is deemed as beautiful, of course. You got this bitch model also, which is an unclean leper, you know, that they glorify, that she's so beautiful and whatever. Meanwhile, the Bible speaks negatively about it. If you a leper, you are unclean. If you a complete leper, like this man over here, you're clean, but it came out of a curse. It came out. It was a response to sin. This is what the Most High gives you when you have sinned. You know, and it can pass on through your generations because there's reincarnation in the Bible, and it's being passed on through your family line, which we are gonna read. So the book of Enoch says Noah was a so-called white man, you know, which is not possible. Conform the Bible, which we're gonna go into right now. Now we're gonna start at Genesis 6. This is Genesis chapter 6 verse 8. But Noah found grace in the eyes of, let me see, wait. Let me start at 5. And Yahweh saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every indignation of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And it repented Yahweh that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And Yahweh said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repented me that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of Yahweh. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations. And Noah walked with the Most High. Okay, so this shows you Noah was perfect in the eyes of the Most High. He was a just man. He was righteous. He was walking uprightly in the ways of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So what we are going to go into right now is that leprosy, which the modern day leprosy is not the biblical leprosy. The biblical leprosy is what they call nowadays a pigment disorder, man. This is an unclean leper, and being an albino, this is a clean leper, completely turned white. You know, so if this man loses all his pigment, he becomes a clean leper. But he is an unclean leper. Let's see for more pictures. This is the bitch I was talking about. An unclean leper. But then if we look up leprosy, they changed the meaning, man. Nowadays they say this is leprosy. But we're gonna show you, well, I'm gonna show you in the scriptures that this is not the case, man. You see, leprosy, your hands disintegrating and shit like that. But in the Bible, it's clearly referring to the skin tone. You know? Let's see if I can go back. Yeah, so this is a clean leper. And this is an unclean leper. And this is an unclean leper to the fullest, because you see raw skin coming out, which the Bible describes. The raw skin, you know, that's the leprosy. You know, which makes you really unclean, man. You know, so Noah was a just man, and we're gonna show, well, I'm gonna show, why am I saying we all the time? Like I'm with some brothers over here, man. Nah, I'm alone, man. But I'm gonna show you that it's because of sin, man. The Most High can curse you with leprosy. This is Numbers chapter 12 verse 3. Now the man Moses was very meek above all the men which were upon the face of the earth. So he was a humble man. Meanwhile the Most High was speaking with him face to face, man. And Yahweh spake suddenly unto Moses and unto Aaron and unto Miriam, Come out ye three unto the tabernacle of the congregation. And they three came out. And Yahweh came down in the pillar of the cloud and stood in the door of the tabernacle and called Aaron and Miriam, and they both came forth. And he said, Hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I Yahweh will make myself known unto him in a vision, and will speak unto him in a dream. My servant Moses is not so, who is faithful in all mine house. With him will I speak mouth to mouth. You see, so the Heavenly Father is comparing Moses with the prophet, and he's saying like Moses is on a different level, man. Because the Most High speaks to prophets in dreams and visions, but hey, the Most High was speaking mouth to mouth with Moses, man. Don't compare him with just a prophet. I speak mouth to mouth with him, man. I have conversations with him. You know, verse 8. With him will I speak mouth to mouth, even apparently, and not in dark speeches. In the similitude of Yahweh shall he behold. Wherefore then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? You see, they was bucking up against Moses, man. Especially his sister Miriam, bucking up for the woman that he had. You know. So the Heavenly Father is saying, Wherefore then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? He's not the prophet, he's not the servant, he's more than that. Well, aren't you afraid? And the anger of Yahweh was kindled against them, and he departed. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous. Now, if this leprosy was the thing that is being described nowadays as a skin disease, wherewith your flesh is rotting and stuff like that, and basically disintegrates, then why does it say, Behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow? And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. So she became white as snow, man. Her pigment was taken away. The Most High has taken away her pigment, man. Why? It's a form of sin. It's a response to the sin that she did. She made the Most High angry. So the Most High basically cursed her with leprosy, man. So it says, And Aaron said unto Moses, Alas, my Lord, I beseech thee, lay not the sin upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned. You see, so leprosy comes from sin. Let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed when he cometh out of his mother's womb. A baby that died in the womb and came out of his mother. Basically, the baby's dead, so his pigment never came into fluently into his body, you know, appearing as, you know, a healthy, beautiful, pigmented son, you know, dark skin, or you know, whatever shape of brown, a shade of brown he has, but the pigment in it. So, you know, when you cook chicken, the brother always says cooked chicken. This man, when the baby's being born, don't let her be as one dead, man, of whom the flesh is half consumed. You know, when he cometh out of his mother's womb, he is dead for a long time, so he is completely pale. You know. So verse 11 again, And Aaron said unto Moses, Alas, my Lord, I beseech thee, lay not the sin upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned. You know, so it's a form of sin, and the Most High curses you with leprosy after that sin. And Yahweh said unto Moses, if her father had but spit in her face, should she not be ashamed 7 days? Let her be shut out from the camp 7 days, and after that let her be received again. You see, so basically this leprosy is a spiritually spit from the Most High, man. You know, making you unclean, making you a mark, putting a mark upon you, which is leprosy, man. Which is looking like becoming an albino or an unclean leper, even worse, man. So it's something to be ashamed of. Because, let me read it again. And Yahweh said unto Moses, if her father had but spit in her face, should she not be ashamed 7 days? You know, so what do you do when you are ashamed of something? You hide yourself, man. That's why the Most High says, like, you know, let her go out from the camp. Let her be shut out from the camp 7 days, and after that let her be received in again. And Miriam was shut out from the camp 7 days, and the people journeyed not till Miriam was brought in again. And afterward the people removed from Hazeroth and pitched in the wilderness of Paran. You see? So leprosy is a curse, man, that came out of sin. Now, why I say that it can come down generations to generations is because of this. 2 Samuel chapter 3 verse 27. And when Abner was returned to Hebron, Joab took him aside in the gate to speak with him quietly. So Abner was the general of Saul's army, and he tried to set up the grandson of Saul to become king, you know, and taking care of it. But then he tried to become cool with King David again, and King David was actually cool with him, man. You know, there was basically a treaty again between them, that they would not make war again. But Joab lost his brother Abishai, you know, Asahel. He lost his brother Asahel, you know, and he went to kill Abner with his brother Abishai. You know, so it says, Joab took him aside in the gate to speak with him quietly, and smote him there under the 5th rib, that he died for the blood of Asahel his brother. And afterward, when King David heard it, he said, I and my kingdom are guiltless before Yahweh forever, from the blood of Abner the son of Ner. Let it rest on the head of Joab, and on all his father's house, and let there not fail from the house of Joab one that had an issue, or that is a leper, or that leaneth on a staff, which means, you know, being messed up, having an issue, having a sickness, or being a leper, which is being an albino or having leprosy, man, or that falleth on the sword, committing suicide, or that lacketh bread, being in poverty. So up till this day, if your line goes back to if your line goes back to Joab, and you look into your family, you're gonna have some lepers as people in your family, man, or sick people. People that constantly commit suicide. That's something common in your family, because that's what Joab got for murdering Abner, man, and going against the commandment of the king. The king never gave such commandment, so he sinned. So his whole family line, his whole bloodline is being cursed, man, with sicknesses. Which one of the sicknesses is leprosy, like it says. Let not leprosy fail from his house, man. So Joab and Abishai his brother slew Abner, because he had slain their brother Asahel at Gibeon in the battle. So you see, so now going back to the beginning where we started off, Noah, Genesis chapter 6 verse 9, these are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations, and Noah walked with the Most High Yahweh. So the Most High would never, and I'm saying never, ever, ever make Noah a leprous ass man. The Most High would never make Noah an albino, man. That's impossible. Because like we said, and like we just read, and like I just said, man, leprosy is a curse from the Most High. It comes out of sinning towards the Most High, or towards the man that he loves, you know, or towards the commandment, or sinning against the king, going against the commandment of the king, which the commandment of the king stands very high. If you go against the commandment of the king, you're supposed to be put to death, man. You know? So this is basically the cut, man. Noah could have never been a so-called white man, because he was just and righteous before the Most High. And having leprosy is a curse, man. Like it says, Ezra 9 and 7. Since the days of our fathers have we been in a great trespass unto this day. Let me look up the word trespass. Trespass. The Hebrew word is ashama. Ashama. Guiltless, guilt, offense, sin. Wrongdoing, doing wrong, committing a trespass or offense, becoming guilty, guilt, bringing a guilt offering. You see, so they have been sinning, man. Since the days of our fathers, we have we been in a great trespass, sinning unto this day. And for our iniquities have we, our kings and our priests, been delivered into the hand of the kings of the earth, to the sword, to captivity, and to a spoil, and to confusion of face as it is this day. What is that confusion of face? Looking like these other nations, man. Being leprous. Looking like a so-called white man. That's that confusion of face. You know? Not looking like a real Hebrew Israelite from the ancient times, man. You know? That's why nowadays, man, you can't discern who's an Israelite by skin color 100%. You know, it goes through the spirit. That's why it says in Romans chapter 8, verse 16, the Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. So it's a spiritual, it has become a spiritual thing. And it was already in the time of Ezra, which the time of Ezra was the time of the Medo-Persian Empire, if I'm correct. Let me quickly check it out. Ezra. Yeah. Ezra chapter 1 verse 1. Now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia. You see, so during the Medo-Persian Empire, you already had confusion of faces, man. Which is the third captivity, actually. No, the fourth captivity. You had the Assyrian captivity. You had first and foremost, you had the Egyptian captivity. Then you had the Assyrian captivity. Then you had the Babylonian captivity. Then you had the Medo-Persian captivity. So during that time, you already had confusion of faces. Israelites not looking like Israelites no more, man. You know? Because even in the book of Ezra, you will read about people that came out of captivity, and they had to use the Urim and the Thummim to decide if they were of the seed of Israel, man. Which is a heavenly tool wherewith that can be decided. You know? So the point is, man, Noah was not no so-called white man. Noah was not the albino. He was not leprous, because leprosy is a form of sin. Let me look up this word real quick, man. Because I'm bugging the fuck out on this, man. It's a result of sin. Wow, man. Leprosy is a result. Leprosy is a result of sin. If you have sinned, the Most High can curse you with leprosy. You know, leprosy is a result of sin. So with that, I want to give all praises, glory, and the highest honor to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Bashem Rakakodash. Shalom to the elect.